Welcome to Picks and Parlays here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, where we're with you each and every weekday from 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific on this very network. We also stream live throughout the day on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm your host, Nick Geber. You can find me on Twitter. It's not too difficult. It's at Nick Geber. You can see it if you're watching us on the live video stream, Nickgeber. Happy January the 29th, 2020. This is my day. Of all the days of the year, this is my day. I'd like to wish everyone a very grumpy National Curmudgeon's Day. Your favorite curmudgeon here. We're going to talk sports picks for you, lots of them. We're going to start with a little NBA and college basketball with Alex Smarty Pants Smart. Then we're going to move right along and talk some college basketball with San Higgs. And then finally, we're going to do some Super Bowl prop betting. Look at some of the fun bets out there. Ali, Third Degree Burns, and Craig El Guapo Trapp will be taking that segment over. Hope you enjoy it. It's always a lot of fun. We've got a lot to get to today. Just a reminder, our website, picksandparlays.net. We have a ton of free sites. Listen to me. A ton of free picks. See, it's Curmudgeon's Day. I can be grumpy, right? Go and enjoy them. Go look them up, picksandparlays.net. And when you're ready for that extra sporting intelligence, when you're ready to make those extra bets, our expert picks are there for you as well. And right now, we have a very special offer for you, 15% off. Use promo code SUPER. That's as in Super Bowl, not super and salad. I don't know. Super Bowl? SUPER, S-U-P-E-R. Get 15% off. You want to load up your basket with those quality picks. All right, I'm going to step aside, take a break, gather my thoughts. I have one a day. I haven't had it yet, so maybe I'll find it during the break. And I'll be right back with Alex Smarty Pants Smart here on Picks and Parlays. Welcome back, Picks and Parlays. Nick Geber with you. We're going to get right to it. Let's bring in our expert handicapper, Alex Smarty Pants Smart. Smarty Pants, how are you today?
Good, G. How's everything?
Well, you know, it's National Curmudgeon's Day, so I'm in my element. I don't know what else to say. I look forward to this day. For all the other 364 days of the year, I'm saving up all my grumpiness for today. And today, I'm going to enjoy it. All right, Alex, let's get to it, shall we? We've got one NBA game. Let's get right to that one. It's Bulls at Pacers. Now, I didn't get a line on this yet because I didn't look it up, but that's, called show prep. But the Bulls are 19-30, 23-25-1 against the spread. They're 6-4 in the last 10. They've won 2 in a row. Their most recent win was against the Spurs. They're 8-15 straight up, 12-10-1 against the spread on the road. Now, Otto Porter, Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Clark Jr., they're all out indefinitely. They've been out for a while, and they're not going to be playing this game either. They've gone over the total in 4 of the last 6, and the Pacers are 30-7, 25-20-2 against the spread. They're 7-3 in the last 10. They lost the last game by 10 points, and that was to the Blazers. Miles Turner, Malcolm Brogdon, they're out, but Victor Oladipo should play, and that's good news. 17-5 straight up, 11-9-2 against the spread at home. They're over in 9 of the last 13 games. How do you see this one breaking down?
Well, it's interesting. Indiana's just off a vicious, exhausting Western trip. 5 games in a very short period of time, just a little over a week. And now they come home. They've had a couple of days rest, but at the same time, sometimes I find with NBA teams, it takes time to get accustomed to home cooking again. You're away on the road for such a period of time. And, just to get comfortable in your own digs is not always easy. Now, I do know tomorrow night that Victor Oladipo is supposed to be back in the lineup. So I'm looking at a variation in the line here, maybe at around 8 points. This is a line that I've set favoring Indiana. But, the Bulls have been playing good, shorthanded, but they've been playing viable basketball. And if we get 8 points here, I'm willing to take it because I just think it's going to take them time to sort of get rolling on home court. And Oladipo's time on the court should be limited too. So.
Right. Now, home cooking, I mean, for me, that's a frozen pizza. What's that for you?
Oh boy, these we don't even want to get into that. Chinese food, I think mostly.
Is that what Canadians eat? I didn't know what Canadians eat. I mean, you have to eat something to give you that Canadianness. Is it maple leaves? I don't know. Syrup, maple syrup.
Syrup. Yeah. Pancakes and syrup. I have it 3 times a day, actually. Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's move on to college basketball, shall we? I've got to get my notes here because I'm all over the place. Let's start with Northwestern at Michigan State. The Wildcats are 6-13, 7-11-1 against the spread. They're 1-9 in the last 10. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They did lose to Ohio State last outing. They're 1-5 straight up, 4-1-1 against the spread. On the road, they're only 1-8 in conference, which sucks. Anthony Gaines is unlikely to play. They've gone under the total in 4 of the last 6. And for the Michigan State Spartans, now, by the way, USC needs to give up the Spartan thing. They just need to call themselves the Lori Loughlins. And Michigan State can carry the Spartan banner beautifully. 15-5, though. 10-10 against the spread. 8-2 in the last 10, coming off a 70-52 win over Minnesota. They're 9-1 straight up. 8-2 against the spread at home. Their home powerhouse. Then they're 7-2 in conference. Kyle Ahrens is a doubt to play. The total's gone under in all of the last 5 for them, and they are massive. Big. They're going to lay big points on this one. Michigan State minus 17 home favorites, and a healthy one at that, at 140.5. You want to lay the points here on Michigan State?
I want to lay the square points. I want to be as square as I possibly can, or what somebody would consider to be square. It's interesting to note that Michigan State, like you mentioned, they're a vicious home team. They're merciless there, and now we're going into the stress drive here in the Big Ten, and I can say Michigan State's going to light it up, and they usually do it, and they want to make an impression. They're 6-0 SU ATS the last 3 seasons against a really bad team like this, between a 200 and 400 win percentage, 20% to 40% win percentage. The average score of these games, 103.5 to 58.3. That's almost a 45-point difference. Am I going to lay the points? Hey, it might seem square, but I'm going to lay the points.
So you're going to lay the points. And what about what on this total? We're going to avoid it, or you like the under or the over?
I think the totals, it's looking pretty good now at this point. I wouldn't mess with it. If we get one more possession, which is a possibility, I may look at the under.
May look at the under, but definitely going to lay the points on Michigan State. All right, good advice.
Yeah,
we'll take
absolutely.
it. Next up on my notes here is Marquette against Xavier. The Golden Eagles, 14-6, 13-7 against the spread. 6-4 in the last 10, coming off a 85-89. They lost by 4 points to Butler. 2-4 straight up, 3-3 against the spread on the road, 4-4 in conference. Marcus Howard will likely play, but Greg Elliott will likely not play. Total's gone over in 5 of the last 6. And the Xavier Musketeers. Someone sounds like a candy or a movie. 13-7, 5-13-2 against the spread. They're 4-6 in the last 10. They lost by 11 to Creighton in their last outing. They're 10-1 straight up, 8-3 against the spread, 4-4 in conference. Another 4-4 in conference team here. Quentin Gooden, Daniel Ramsey are out, and they've gone under the total in 6 of the last 9. They are narrow 1-bucket favorites at -2, and a total of 145. Where are we going on this one?
Well, I'll tell you, Marquette's been lighting it up lately. They've won 3 of their last 4. Of course, they lost their last game, like you mentioned. But they, in 5 of their last 6 games, they put 80 or more points on the board. My biggest concern here with Xavier, a team that's just not operating fluently so far this season. They've been very inconsistent. Is scoring enough points to keep up here? I know their defense can have a shutdown performance, but it's not common, and they just allowed Marquette 85 points here. These 2 Jesuit schools, are going to battle it out. There's always a grudge here. The Catholics just love to beat up Catholics. You know what it's like. Anyway,
I'll tell you what, there'll be a lot of praying before the game.
There will be a lot of praying. I think there's going to be a lot of praying for Xavier after the game. But, I look for Marquette to come here. I know that Xavier's got revenge on board, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Well, my question for you is this on this game. You've got 2 teams of very, very similar records overall. Very similar conference records. But, I think, 2-point advantage for Xavier when they're 10-1 straight up at home seems kind of low to me.
Yeah, and I think that's I don't believe in such a thing as a trap line, but there is bait put out there, and this is a line in my opinion, and there's a reason why it's only at two, and I really think Marquette, getting points here, catching some points, just that one possession is enough. Three would be beautiful. 2.5 would be good. Two, we're going to take the two if we
We're
have.
going to take the two on Xavier. All right, well, Alex, we've got a couple of minutes left. What else do you have in your powder bag? What are we going to do? What else do you have up on the site for us today?
Nothing right now, but tomorrow we're going to have a lot of NBA, and we should have a decent NBA card, and as always, college basketball. And I've been pounding the books pretty good college basketball this season, and I expect to continue to do so.
All right, Alex Smart, always a pleasure. You can find Alex on the website, picksandparlays.net. You can get all of his expert picks there, along with any of the expert picks from any of our handicappers that we have on this show. And today we're going to have three, and you can get their picks on the site, as well as 32 others that we have there. And we got this great special offer for you. It's 15% off all their expert picks or any packages we have. 15% off picksandparlays.net. Use code SUPER, SUPER, for Super Bowl. That's super for 15% off. Look, we'd love to hear from you during the show. All you have to do is fill out the comment section on any one of our social media platforms, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And we'll see your comments here in the studio, and we'll put it up on the screen, and we'll talk about it. We'll have a little sports betting therapy for the troubled soul. Okay, up next, we're going to be talking with Sean Higgs. Going to have a little college basketball for you, so stay tuned for Higgy Pop. I'm going to take a break and be right back after this. Welcome back. Picksandparlays.net. I'm your host, Nick Geber. You can Twitter me, Nick Geber, Nickgeber. That's where you will find me. By the way, if you like the Premier League, the Champions League, international football, the round one, I'm on the air every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, live on Dan Patrick Sports. That's Sirius XM Channel 211. You can find me there. Let's have a good old chinwag about the beautiful game. Love to hear from you. Again, you can Twitter me at Nick Geber. And if you would like to hear that soccer show and you can't make it, you can also find my podcast. You can find it at Picks and Parlays. You can also find it at the Believe Podcast Network. That's also, by the way, where the Picks and Parlays podcast is. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, let's bring in our next guest, Higgy Pop, Sean Higgs. Now, Sean, yesterday I got very excited and I called Joe Duffy. First I called him Sean. I introduced him as Sean Higgs, then Sean Duffy. And then I got it right, Joe Duffy. But, the real Sean Higgs is here. And by the way, that is your Twitter handle. It is real_Higgs. Sean, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I think Duffy's got a little more hair than me.
Yeah, he does. But, he is yet to tell me that his wife is making cheesecake. So, all I can say is he will always be down the pecking order for that.
I'm glad that I'm on your mind all the time, living rent-free in that head of yours.
It is, and it is National Curmudgeon. It is National Curmudgeon's Day. So I'd like to share that day with you, Higgs. But let's get to it. Let's do some college basketball, shall we? Why don't we start with?
Let's.
I got a bunch of some games that I didn't even pick here, which is very strange. But okay, let's start with DePaul, Seton Hall. Let's start with the DePaul Blue Demons. 13-7, 9-10-1 against the spread. They're 4-6, but only one win in the last 8. They're definitely not that great. Losing by 13 points to St. John's their last outing. They're 4-2 straight up, and against the spread on the road, they're only one win. They're 1-6 in conference. Total's gone over in 7 of the last 10, and the Seton Hall Pirates. No, I'm not going to do my. Okay, I am going to do my pirate voice. Arr, the Seton Hall Pirates, laddie. Okay, now we're done. 15-4, 13-5-1 against the spread. They're going to make the Blue Demons walk the plank. Although they are only 1-9 in the last 10, they are 9-1 in the last 10. They're on a 9-game winning streak. Thank you. They're coming off a big 9-point win over Providence. They're 8-1 straight up, 7-1-1 against the spread at home. They're 7-0, unbeaten in conference play. Sandro, now I love this name, Mamukalashvili. There we go. I got it. So, Sandro, don't sell me.
Go for it.
That was pretty good. It was a mouthful. He's a doubt for this game. So, he's not playing, so he can spend time twittering me at Nick Geber telling me I don't know how to pronounce his name. The total's gone over in 4 of the last 5. Seton Hall are 10.5-point favorites at home, a total of 143. But I have to say, Higgs, that seems kind of low to me. Not the total, but the points on Seton Hall.
The points. Yeah, I mean, they're just rolling 9 straight, undefeated in Big East play. Who, inside the top 10 now. If you like to look at those kind of ratings of teams, and here we are. DePaul started out really nice. Remember, they're like 13-1. We're talking about padding that schedule, and now 1-6 in Big East play when you start playing teams that actually have some talent on the other side of the court. Yeah, 10.5. I don't know how you say double digits looks low, but it does look kind of low the way Seton Hall's playing. And really, they're just playing so well. I mean, you have to look Seton Hall or pass. I mean, it's tough taking bad teams, especially. I mean, they're 1-6 in Big East play. They're not even really being that competitive, and the Hall's been covering. The trend numbers are in their favor. It's not just they have a nice overall record in winning. They're covering games, which is what we want to do. Yeah. So 10.5, I'd lay it here. Their focus are playing really well. How about now's the time start looking a little, maybe taking to win a Big East, a little future bet there, maybe something a Final Four appearance. It's a wide open college this year. It's been, you see since that first top 10 came out, the top 25 list, we've seen a lot of change, and they're playing as well as anybody right now. Why not, put a little $25, $50 on them, try to get to that, Final Four. I think it'd be worth a shot. Playing really well. You've
got one team here that's had 1 win in the last 8, and another team that's on a 9-game win streak at home, unbeaten in conference. Yeah. I mean, I think 10.5 is low, but that's just me.
And it's a team. It sounds like they're going to get picked off. They're overlooking. Seton Hall's not a team as making a tournament is one thing. It's not like they're a team where they're in a Kansas or a Duke situation where they're so good for 25 years going to Sweet 16s every year. They're not like that. They're not overlooking DePaul. They're like, this is our season. Each game they're just building the momentum, and here you go, 9 straight. Keep it going.
So now you know what the difference between a Blue Demon and a Blue Devil is. One's good and the other sucks. Okay. All right, next up, Alabama at LSU.
Yeah, basically.
Thank you. It's my expert analysis, but no one's paying for my picks. I'll tell you what, I'll give you 100% off my picks, okay, for that one. All right, Alabama at LSU. The Crimson Tide are 12-7, 15-4 against the spread. They're 8-2 in the last 10. They're on a 4-game win streak. They beat Kansas State the last outing. They're 2-4 straight up, 5-1 against the spread on the road, 4-2 in conference. 12-1 against the spread in the last 13. The total's gone over in 7 of the last 10 for the Tide. And the Tigers, 15-4, 9-10 against the spread. They're 8-2. They're on an 8-game win streak coming off a 2-point win over Texas. 10-1 straight up at home, though, 5-6 against the spread. They are unbeaten in conference play. Here's another one. Although, I want to ask you about the Big East versus the SEC. The total's gone over in 5 of the last 7. Interestingly enough, though, it's a 5-point home margin for LSU. They're 5-point favorites, and a nice, healthy, meaty total at 162.5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the total. I mean, Alabama's scoring about 83 a game, and LSU's just shade under, 80 a game. So you expect to see some points. But I'm looking at this. I'm like, wow, 50. You see the 15-4 record again. It's like, oh, is it a real 15-4 record? And here they are, 6-0 in SEC play. So they're playing well. Bama's 12-7. But going over the schedule, we saw them a couple weeks ago. I said, against Auburn, I liked them. Auburn was ranked, and this Alabama team's a crooked record, not like a sexy like 10-1 kind of run. Blowout win over them, blowout over Missouri, blowout over Vandy. Their 2 losses in SEC play to Florida and Kentucky. They were up 21 against Florida.
Yeah.
And pissed that away. And it was a 2-possession game with a minute to go against Kentucky. They're in it. All right, 12-7 is not good, but they're competitive. And the last 6 games for LSU, I'm seeing 15 points decided those 6 games. So that's about 2 points a game. And you got a team like Bama who could light it up, and it's not like just a a one-man show over there. The whole team, it's a deeper team. You got 5 guys with double digits on LSU. So I'm going to take the dog here. 4.5, 5 points. I'll take the dog that averages 80 a game and has been competitive, if not blown out teams in SEC play. So
I'll tell you why I like that
let's
play.
go dog here.
I'll tell you why I like that play, Sean, because they're 4-2 in conference, but those 2 losses came early on in conference play. They're 4-0 in conference since that time. And they are on that 4-game win streak. I mean, so they are on a streak in conference play. They've got momentum with them. And sure, the LSU have, an 8-game win streak going on as well, unbeaten in conference. So they're on a streak as well. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game.
I'm not, and listen, Florida was supposed to be a top 10 team this year. I mean, they got crushed by Baylor the other day, but Baylor's on another planet lately. And listen, you lose to Kentucky on the road. That's not a bad loss for any team. I don't care who comes in, down there to play. So they're competitive in those games. That's something you want to see when you're taking a dog on the road. So, they got enough firepower to hang tough and points on the board, and you're getting 4 or 5 points here. Maybe LSU has a hiccup. 8 straight. This is a tough team. It's not a 1-6 team like DePaul coming in there to play. This team can play. 3 blowout wins on a resume already for Alabama. So,
all right. Next up, Vandy at Kentucky. Now the Vanderbilt Commodores are really having none of the success that their musical namesakes did. I can tell you that right now. 8-11, 7-11-1 against the spread. 2-8 in the last 10 on an 8-game loser right now. They lost 64-90 to South Carolina. That is a spanking. They're 0-4 straight up, 2-2 against the spread on the road. 0-6 in conference. Ooh, what's that smell? Oh, it's Vanderbilt in conference play. Total's gone under in 4 of the last 5 games. And the Kentucky Wildcats, 15-4, 8-10-1 against the spread. They're 7-3. They're on a 3-game winner right now, coming off a 2-point win over Texas Tech. 11-1 straight up, 4-7-1 against the spread. Another hot home team here. 5-1 in conference play. Ashton Hogans, Keon Brooks Jr., they are a doubt to play. They've gone over the total in 8 of the last 9. And let's talk about a big point spread right here. 20-point home favorites for the Wildcats. And, the Commodores sing better than they play basketball. I think that's probably a decent line. 142.5-point total seems maybe a hair low. What do you think?
I saw like 21, maybe it's 20 now. It's a big number. How about Vandy? 26 straight SEC losses, 26 in a row. That is crazy. You should just win one. Just by default, you should win a game. Just based on pure luck, you'd think something would bank in a shot at the buzzer. Listen, I can't. Do I think Kentucky's going to win? Yeah. Can I get behind lane 21? No. They play defense, 38% field goal percentage. They allow teams. Vandy hits some threes. That's about all they got going for them. And you mentioned their win over Texas Tech for Kentucky. Tech plays some defense at least. This Vandy team, they don't do anything well. But again, I can't lay 21. If I'm going to do anything here, I'll probably look to the over maybe. But even that's suspect. This is just one of those games like, listen, I'm no fan of laying when you get into like the 20-point range. And can Vandy hit some threes to get this total over? Because I think Kentucky's going to come out after a tough game. It's like the training wheels coming off. We're like, wow, we're not playing a smothering defense here. So I'm going to lean towards the over here, 143.5, that kind of range that we got. So I'll go over that. But point-wise, just avoid it. I'm not taking Kentucky on a money line minus 10,000 or whatever. That's ridiculous. But let's go over. Hope Vandy hits some threes for us. Kentucky will do the rest. They'll get their 75, 80 points from them against a bad Vandy team.
All right, Higgs, 2 minutes for the last one. We got the West Virginia Mountaineers at the Texas Tech Red Raiders. The Mountaineers 16-3, 12-7 against the spread. They're 8-2 in the last 10. They've won 2 in a row, 3-3 straight up and against the spread on the road. They're 4-2 in conference. The Red Raiders 6-4 in the last 10. They're on a 2-game loser. They fell 2 points to Kentucky. They are 9-2 straight up, 5-6 against the spread at home. 3-3 in conference. They are small favorites at 2-point home favorites here, 128.5. Not much scoring in this one, huh?
No. Well, and listen, West Virginia, great bounce back here. 16-3, doing it with defense, Huggy style. That's what they do. Again, this is a team you want to look at down the road. Get a little future on them, maybe to knock off Baylor. They're playing really well. But I'm going with the home team here. We're getting a runner-up, again, not a good season, 12-7. Everybody's caught up with them. Maybe they're a step back, kind of like Virginia's having a bad year themselves. But I just think this is a team that needs a desperate win, a signature kind of win knocking off a top team like West Virginia that's been playing excellent this year. I'm going with the short fave here. Texas Tech needs one. They need it in a bad way. I like Tech. I also like the under here. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I can see this being like a 50-40 type game the way these guys play sometimes.
Really? So you're going to take the under?
Yeah.
Because I thought 120.5 was, it's a pretty low score there.
Yeah, I mean, I could just see ugliness. We've seen ugliness from both of these teams sometimes. I mean, no sexiness with West Virginia, excuse me. Leading scorer, barely 12 points a game. They don't care how they win. They win with defense. If they beat you by 4, if the defense turns you over 20 times, win by 20, great. A win's a win for West Phos. So at this spot, I think Tech needs it. TT needs a big win, 12-7. If they want to think about the dance, they got to scrub together some wins, and knocking off a team that's in the top 10, top 15 helps the cause for sure. Get it done at home. You're home. Get it done.
Sean Higgs, always a pleasure. We'll speak to you later on in the week. You can find Sean at picksandparlays.net with any one of our other 34 expert handicappers. And Sean's picks are on sale right now, not because they're not good, but because we're feeling overly generous. 15% off. Use promo code SUPER at picksandparlays.net. Just load up your basket and we'll give you the 15%. All right. I'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, picksandparlays.net. I'm Nick Geber. You can find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. By the way, you can find us picksandparlays.net. We are everywhere. If you want to find us on social media, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, just search Picks and Parlays or hashtag Parlay Radio. You will find us in all our glory. Loads of free picks on the site for you, and our expert picks are awaiting for you when you are ready to go and place your bet with that extra sporting intelligence to get and give yourself that advantage. Yeah, don't be a square, be a sharp. All right, well, we had a lot of free picks today, so let's get right to them. We started with Alex Smart, some NBA picks. Bulls at Pacers, he said take the Bulls. And in college basketball, Northwestern at Michigan State, take Michigan State -17. Marquette at Xavier, take Marquette +2.5. And you just heard earlier on in the show, we had Sean Higgs and his college basketball picks. DePaul at Seton Hall, take them Pirates -10.5. Alabama at LSU, take Alabama +4.5. And West Virginia, Texas Tech, take the Red Raiders -2.5. And Vandy at Kentucky, take that over. Take over 143 on this game. We have so many free picks for you on the site at picksandparlays.net. It doesn't matter what sport you follow, whether it's NBA, whether it's, we've got the Super Bowl coming up, obviously, or NHL. We have soccer picks for you. Of course, we're getting ready for baseball season, and we've got college basketball. We got everything for you at picksandparlays.net. Free picks galore. It's a veritable smorgasbord of sporting bet goodness for you at picksandparlays.net. All right, that's going to wrap the show. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Same time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Or you can find us on the web at YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget to go, picksandparlays.net. And until then, bet, win, repeat.